Hello, and a big warm welcome to the Guardian Doula's Diary podcast. My name is Angela Deuce, and I'm your host and the founder of Guardian Doula. I am a certified birth and postpartum doula and childbirth educator based on Sydney's Northern Beaches and serving women and families all throughout Sydney. This podcast is an honest collection of the stories and experiences of birthing women and the professionals that support them to empower, equip, and inspire us all. Let's get into it. Here we go. It's really happening. I am so excited to be starting this podcast. I am someone who absolutely loves a chat, and honestly, a birth chat is my all-time favorite. I love diving deep into all things birth and motherhood. Just ask my friends and family. They're like, okay, we get it. Now, this little trailer is just me sitting down to chat through what the heart and vision behind the podcast is. So you've heard the little mission statement that I've come up with in the intro. But to expand on that, honestly, I just wanted to make a really raw and authentic, grassroots style podcast. So nothing super fancy. It won't be highly edited because I don't have the skills or the time for that. I have 4 little ones that are 4 years old and under. So just like most of you, I am also in the trenches of the early years of motherhood. And so honestly, I just want it to be relaxed and casual. I want it to feel really conversational, like you're sitting here chatting to an old friend. That's it, just plain and simple. Now, the focus is going to be hearing from birthing women. So we'll hear the stories of pregnancy and birth, just embrace the laughs and tears. We'll get to learn from their experiences and be inspired by one another. And then every second week, we'll hear from a professional. So some kind of birth worker. Think midwives, lactation consultants, other birth doulas, pelvic floor physios, nutritionists, psychologists, massage therapists, maybe even personal trainers with some kind of specialty or experience supporting pregnant and postnatal women. And then on top of that, there will be a bit of a focus on these people being local. Now, we've probably all heard of the Australian Birth Stories podcast. I'm a huge fan of that podcast, as are millions of others. It's like one of the most popular podcasts in the country, which is so cool. But that podcast and the other ones out there similar to it are quite geographically broad, right? Like Australia is a pretty big place. So I wanted mine to be different. I want mine to be local. I want my focus to be my area, with some exceptions here and there for sure, but I really plan to hone in on Sydney mums and Sydney birth workers, and even more specifically, the Northern Beaches, because that's where I live, that's my stomping ground, and I haven't seen anything like that yet in the birth space. So I really think this podcast can hit a need, or like an untapped kind of niche demographic, I guess you could say, that exists, which is really exciting. I know if I was having a baby and there was a place that I could come where there's an entire library to tap into full of the wisdom of local mums and birth workers specific to my area, I'd be so keen to glean some wisdom and insight from that little library. So here the library is. I plan to post a new episode every Monday morning, so grab a hot coffee and meet me here then. I hope you're as excited as I am about what's to come. I'm sure you'll get lots of gold out of it. Chat soon.